children.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you destroy our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they came their time, they changed their mind. When they came their time, they changed their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom fighters.
You freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom fighters.
Freedom fighter, you destroy our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Music. Aha.
What's up, Alex?
What's going on? How are you?
You're kind of low. I can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, good.
Wani makianye wara wa monyonju kweyan. Wani makianye wara wa monyonju kweyan. Ke wana wa kunangira. Wasia wa pebiabu. Wana wa kunangonwa. Wasia wa pebiabu. Kena be monye be niaka.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Oh, wa monye o.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Mo freedom fighter ke ni nyo bi okwasa.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Mo freedom fighter ke ni nyo du bi ogbaka.
Hey, Yamathro, how are you doing? Yamathro, folks, as you come on, do us a favor, share the video, like somebody, tell somebody else. You're on across Africa, like Eric.
Wani makianye wara wa monyonju kweyan. Wani makianye wara wa monyonju kweyan. Ke wana wa kunangira. Wasia wa pebiabu. Wana wa kunangonwa. Wasia wa pebiabu. Kena be monye be niaka.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Wa monye o.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Mo freedom fighter ke ni nyo bi okwasa.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Mo freedom fighter ke ni nyo du bi ogbaka.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Mo freedom fighter ke ni nyo bi buonji.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, music. One more freedom fight. When they were coming, they said they were liberators. But when they killed their time, their mind. When they killed their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighters.
You freedom.
They are freedom fighters.
Ayo, ayo, ayo. Oh, ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Oh, ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. When they kill their ground, they change their mind. When they kill their ground, they change their mind. What kind of people they so?
They are freedom fighters.
What kind of people they so?
They are freedom
You
fighters.
freedom fighter, you raping our women.
They are freedom
You
fighters.
freedom fighter, you killing our children.
They are freedom
You
fighters.
freedom fighter, you destroying our country.
They are freedom fighters.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Oh, ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Oh, ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Music. Aha. Wani maji enye wara wa monyoju kweyan. Wani maji enye wara wa monyoju kweyan. Ke wana wa kunangira. Wasia wa pebi abu. Wana wa kunangonwa. Wasia wa pebi abu. Kena be monye be niaka.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Oh, wa monye o.
I'm a freedom
Mo
fighter.
freedom fighter ke ni nyo no bi okwasa.
I'm a freedom
Mo
fighter.
freedom fighter ke ni nyo du bi ogbagba.
I'm a freedom
Mo
fighter.
freedom fighter ke ni nyo bibu ojibi.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Wani maji anye wara wa monyoju kweyan. Wani maji anye wara wa monyoju kweyan. Ke wana wa kunangira. Wasia wa pebi abu.
Freedom fighter. I'm a freedom fighter. I'm a freedom
Mo
fighter.
freedom fighter ke ni nyo du bi ogbagba.
I'm a freedom
Mo
fighter.
freedom fighter ke ni nyo bibu ojibi.
I'm a freedom fighter.
Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Music.
Well, you see why it's always an honor and a pleasure to have you on here, Miss Sita Chesapeake Nurse. The fact that you could remind me that I was muted and talking to myself, I appreciate it. Just do one more thing, just one more thing for us. Share the video, invite somebody, tell somebody else. Alex Jones is in the building. And tell them he's on Talk Liberia on the Cross Africa Network. And I'm telling you, folks, it's getting hotter and hotter and hotter as we speak today. In Liberia, a lot of things happening in Liberia, and we will dive into them as much as possible. We want to first and foremost use this opportunity. Let's just acknowledge um, a friend and brother, Musa Willie. Musa celebrates his birthday today. Mr. Willie is definitely, I give him hard time for the fact that he's a supporter, or he supported what's his name? What's this guy name? Can you believe I give this guy a hard time and I'm sitting out here today and forgetting his name? Amara Kane. I can't believe this. I can't believe Yo, I can't believe I just forgot Amara Kane's name, bro, for real. But we must again, I think part of our responsibility is to erase the needed checkpoints. We do the best we can to make sure that people will be kept in check. And so today we want to use this opportunity to extend our birthday greetings to Musa V. Willie. Happy birthday to you, brother. I think I gave you enough hard time today. That I think it's only fair that at least we use this time to celebrate you, and wish you the very best. Pray for you and your family. Pray that God grants you what you want. For now, you're just yourself, your family, and of course that of Mama Liberia. And I'm pretty sure that's part of the reason why you and others. So we want to say happy birthday to you, Musa. We hope you enjoy yourself, celebrate your birthday with family and friends, those that are meaningful to you. With that said, folks, let us get into the conversation. Alex, welcome. Let's start our conversation. What's going on from your end, boss man?
Oh, thank you. And I just wanted to send this out today. I think it's Decoration Day in Liberia.
Yes, that too.
So today we honor, our faithful brothers and sisters who passed away. And I just wanted to mention that. May they rest in perfect peace.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, then and yeah, let me just add my voice to that for those who went to the grave sites and other places to just remember their loved ones. We extend our sincere condolences. Those who were not able to make it for whatever reason, we still, extend our condolences, and we keep you all in our prayer and hope that, things get better. Um, we can't stop, as far as death. We all have our time, regardless of what you do, how you do, where you at. You all will go through it, and so we cannot distance ourselves from it, but we definitely have to just expect it. When, where, that is one thing we don't know yet. But Alex, man, let's politics in Liberia. What have you heard about the trending issues in Liberia? What's going on? As a matter of fact, there was a recent post. Let's do this for a split second here, Alex. I want to post this up, and I'm gonna get your view on this, Alex, and see whether you believe this actually came from the executive mansion. I was thinking about this. I saw this post. I made a post on my personal page. Um, and I'm still asking myself, is this really from the executive mansion's page? Did the press secretary or whoever really post this? Did she really do this? Did she mean to do it, or is it a kind of joke? And if it was a kind of joke, what do people think of it? I just want to know. I want to get people view on this particular topic here. So let me make it a little bigger, and then that way I can extend. There you go. So this is a post that I came across today. I woke up this morning. I was tagging this post here. And I credit Justice Polo Smooth out of Liberia. He tagged me in it. He made a post, and when I read the post, I was laughing. I thought it was just somebody who created a fake account and wanted to make jokes. So yeah, I went and verified, and actually it came from the executive mansion page. It says His Excellency President Joseph Numa, and Deputy Minister for Administration, Ministry of State, walk towards the grave of ex-president Joseph Numa Boakai. First, when I saw it, I was like, they did not state his full name in here, so probably somebody is trying to play tricks on them. But then I saw it appears to have been like it came from somewhere close. So I mean, Alex, what do you make of it? So I made a post calling her attention to that to hopefully see if they will respond to this, calling the current president ex-president going to see his own grave. I mean, Alex, let me hear from you, man. What do you make of this?
No, I think it's just a typo. I think the young lady, I think she's a bright, young woman. And I think she's trying to do the best she can under the circumstances. But obviously, it's very difficult for her
Right.
because you have a dysfunctional government, you have incompetence all around, including the Ministry of State. So I can see her vigor and wanting to inform the public and writing. But I won't go too hard. It's a typo. I mean, we all make typos, even the New York Times.
We yeah,
Uh,
we I mean we make typos though, Alex, but for you to reference the current president as ex-president and then and then talking about he's going to his grave to like what what is it? I mean, that typo, bro, like that
yeah,
typo would draw attention. I mean, I can see
yeah.
where
It's a little
this
more than a typo because
that is
it's not like
thank
a word
you.
misspell or something.
Thank
Um,
you.
it,
The
it points to the again. I use this word a lot, and I think people underestimate the importance of competency. You
right,
know, you can have the best intentions, you can want to do the greatest job, but if you are not qualified, to do it, it's like you and I going to play soccer. We
right,
we may watch it and want to play and want to be, a soccer star, but the fact is, we just don't have the ability.
true,
Even for soccer player like we are, I mean, we are went to play today, he won't be able to catch up with, Massey and so forth. So that's
right.
what competency means. You don't have the ability. You may have the intentions. You may want to do the right thing, but if press secretary job is a very important job.
Hmm.
It's one that basically is the most important job in administration
Right. It requires you
because
to keep yourself abreast of the day-to-day activities and keeping the president informed as well as getting update from the
correct.
president on his views,
And you got to
right?
be knowledgeable. You got to be
Right,
knowledgeable because you have to know how to speak on the economy. This lady
right,
doesn't have any ability to speak on the economy. If you ask her right now, what are pure growth, she doesn't know it. You see what I mean? You should be able to speak on a variety of topics. You should have, besides the oratory and the ability to write well, you should be able to write well.
right,
Someone who publishes a lot. So usually that's why they get someone in a journalist or a writer. So in this case, I mean, you can't just go on your phone. Besides that, you have to have a team of people that review stuff before it's posted.
right. And
So
and
it's a
that,
whole office.
that's where I was gonna go with this though.
Yeah.
Is it not part of the reason why you go through consultations before you do certain things? Like you bring your
Yeah.
team around every morning. In my
Correct.
my area of expertise, again, what we reference that as is huddle. We go through what we call a huddle, and then we discuss issues that we probably have. If I have anything technical to discuss with my team based on what happened the previous workday. We talk about it. If they have questions, they discuss it, bring it up, and then we address it in there and then know how to approach it. That's part of the reason why you go through these various meetings. And I
Right.
would think that she should have done, or if she's already doing that, then she probably need to double it up. I'm not saying And all of us here, we can. I mean, we have typos all the time, but they did. I mean, to this point, I feel like I think it was pushed way beyond expectation. Nah, so there probably should be a little bit more work done on this issue of the the typo and everything. I think we just lost Alex in there. So um but yeah, folks. So while we wait for Alex to come on, I have this little video here of the recent incidents that are taking place in Liberia. Alex is back here. Let me bring it back on.
Okay, sorry about that. Um,
Yeah.
and she shouldn't be posting. She's not the best writer, you know. You shouldn't be. You should have a team of people that
Mm-hmm.
maybe you can have a discussion, and then you find someone who writes, and then someone who checks. Years ago, when I started my career, I, you know, we used to send out a big bank. We used to send communications, normally, whether it was your loan, interest loan, and I thought some
Mm-hmm.
actually, like the managers or were writing these things. No, it happens that they hire of outside firm or
Right.
the other English teachers and stuff. They would draft the letter,
Mm-hmm.
or they would draft the letter,
Right.
and that's what is used. So the CEO or the chief marketing officer doesn't send anything to the customers. It goes
Right.
to those faces, they review it, checks the spelling, check the grammar and everything before it's put out there. But Liberian people feel that when you have a position, that means you need to do the writing, you need to do the so that's part of the incompetency I'm talking about, the and inexperience, because she's never worked in that kind of area. I mean, becoming a broadcaster in
Mm-hmm.
Nigeria does not qualify you to become press secretary. Like I said, you got health issues that you got to deal with. You got political issues that you got to deal with. You got international issues that you got to deal with, economic issues that you got to deal with. What's the extent of your background in those areas? And that's the problem they're facing. But I
So
think she's smart and she just needs to learn from mistakes. I don't want to be critical today, Lofa, because I know a lot of people be criticizing me that I'm too hard and I'm too critical and I'm too abrasive. So today I want to talk about solutions, if that's
okay,
okay with you.
that that
You
that
can ask the question, but
that's
so the
perfectly.
solution for that, she
Mm-hmm.
needs to get a team of people, writers, communicators, not political people, because most of them are silly and stupid and incompetent. Get some good Liberian writers, all right, and she can liaise with them to help her with her communication going
Okay.
forward, and say, okay, when she write the wherever the release is, email it to them or text it to them. They look
What?
over it.
How about again? Let me. I hate to interrupt you on this part, but
Mm,
again, even though you're hired to a specific position, I think you can utilize people like you rightfully said with certain expertise, right? Those who are skillful at writing, you can bring them in your office. When I worked with the state's treasurer, at the state's treasurer, we had the legal team, we had the social media team, and again, all of these different teams had responsibility, but we all were reminded every time we had the agency meeting or just to sit in, we were reminded if the media were to ever reach out to you and ask you a question, you refer them to that person.
correct.
Okay. And even that person will not respond, they will get them scheduled to speak to the appropriate souls,
Mhm,
that person who is supposed to address the media, because they don't
mhm,
want to say something and then it come back to bite them. So
mhm,
all of these people were being used. We had, I mean, IT, we were there, but they never used us to address anything on the social media. If they
mhm,
were doing they were doing Photoshop work, they would simply bring us in just to make sure that they are out here using the application. They could even install it
mhm,
if we permitted that. All right, and we sit there, they use it the way they wanted to, and That was it. We had no input. We could not suggest whether they needed to tweak anything. No, that was their part of their contribution, the social media team. And even on the social media team, they had specific area. They had the Twitter team, they have Facebook team. And I'm like, okay, everybody has some kind of work. But in Liberia, it's almost like lose and just hands off. Once you're announced as this person in that position, you just run head of scatter. Nobody care what you're doing.
Hmm.
And then when the mistakes come, then they say, "Oh, human, we all make mistakes." How you're running
Yeah,
a government agency for Christ in heaven's sake?
right. This is the president's office. I mean, this is, I mean, inter diplomats read it. It's a permanent record on Facebook. So it's not something that you can just, air on because of the lack of, being experienced in your job. So I hope she will learn from this experience. And I heard a lot of mistakes that she's made.
Hmm.
This is it's a different thing when you own your private, your private post. Obviously, you're not going to worry about, okay, I got to check every grammar, I got to do it. But you are writing as an official, you're representing the government.
Exactly.
That's
Hmm.
a totally different thing. Your private post, you can put wherever, whether you get it right or wrong, but you are the press secretary for the Republic of Liberia,
Mm.
not for Waka.
Right.
Okay,
Wow.
that's the mistake people make. People think when you minister, like let's say you minister of finance for the Waka government. No, you are minister of finance for the Republic of Liberia.
Get that. Right.
Anything that you do is for the Republic, not for the president. The president can resign, can leave tomorrow, and whatever the case may be. So, but she has a lot of energy,
Hmm.
and I think she has the ambition, but I think she was too early to put her in that position. Another thing I want to point out, what I noticed in Liberia,
Hmm.
people don't go up the ranks. Okay,
Hmm.
you have people who done this job before. I'm totally against, the old heads, the people who just been there repeatedly one job after, going back like the deputy minister of state. These
Hmm.
are old, outdated, you know, even if they were the best in a job they were doing or they're doing, the
Hmm.
fact that it's still there, they have not transferred that knowledge to other people,
Hmm.
makes them, useless to society. Because one of the things you should do, I mean, you here as an IT professional, if you were to leave your company tomorrow, there are people there that can do almost everything you can do.
Right.
You
And
take
then
vacation every year, correct?
right.
You take vacation, and the job still goes on.
Right. And
So
that's part of the reason why they emphasize on documentation.
correct,
Documentation, documentation, documentation. So that when
correct.
you
So
have
other
plans,
people can be able to see what you've done. So the fact in Liberia, the moment you bring somebody to the same position,
mhm,
or somebody who been around for so long, in itself is a failure on your part. You're horrible leader. You're a horrible manager. Let me give you an example, right?
mhm,
Apple, right? Everybody knows Steve Jobs.
right.
Great guy, one of the most best innovators of our time.
True.
But guess what? Since the passing of Steve Jobs, Apple has grown more than quadruple. It's
Right.
performed better than when Steve Jobs, the innovator who started it. Microsoft, Bill Gates still around. But at a certain point, what he did, he resigned
Alex,
as
Alex, hold on.
CEO.
Alex, hold on one second. You made mention of something here.
Mhm.
A good friend of mine is listening, and quite a few of our reporters on across Africa is listening. I want you
Yeah.
to repeat that because because this is something that I emphasize on every time when we have this conversation. I said to them, don't turn across Africa into a Lofa Julius platform. Turn across Africa into with or without one person, we can still organize and run this institution, and it will be seamless. Like you, we won't even know that nobody will miss you. Your presence will not be felt. And this is something I highlight all the time. The fact that you mentioning it, I just want you to reiterate, just highlight that part as to why it is
Yeah, like I
important
was saying,
that
I
institution
mean,
power
doing Apple, we know Apple is a practical example. We know how brilliant Steve Jobs was, a genius.
right.
Done stuff that nobody could have thought about, the iPhone, the iPad. everything else. All right. But since his passing, Apple has done better, quadruple, meaning if there were 500 billion, they're not over 2 trillion.
Right.
Okay. They performing better, their products are better, their profits are better, their company is larger.
Mhm.
All right. That tells you that the idea in Liberia where people look at one man and say, oh, you can only get Eugene Fagon, okay, to be that in every government account, you gotta be, but it's nonsense. There are Liberians in Liberia right now, young people in Liberia that are better than Alice Jones. Okay.
Mhm.
So what good leaders do is they recruit these people, they shadow them, they mentor them, and you move on to something else and you brought it. And I'll get another example. I mean, I'm not trying to flatter you. I watched the closing argument. The closing argument is a wonderful show because it's a counterweight to Spoon TV. First, there were only Spoon TV. Nobody could imagine anything else other than Spoon TV, right?
Mhm.
They had a breakaway. And actually, myself doubted that they would do so well. Okay. They broke away and they brought in this closing argument.
Mhm.
If you look at content, if you look at discussion, if you look at balance, closing argument is far better. They're more objective because they really do a good job of bringing people from both sides.
Right.
You know, they're not okay. So it shows that those guys were better than Stanton Willis. He just didn't give them a chance. So even when he's convicted and going to jail, he still won't be over the channel. And that tells you that that's the culture you have in Liberia where people feel that you're not supposed to move on, that the guy should just be there and you always controlling. And I'm happy it happened that way because look at how well they're doing now. Then on top of that, they say, you know what, we may be good in the political argument, but we are not good as a moderator. Let's bring Lofa Julius. And your addition to that program now as a moderator, to bring everybody in place. And then you go out because of your connection. Look how many other people that come on the show, closing argument. And it will only get better because they are not holding on to, oh, this is my spot. Whereas if you look at Spoon TV, once somebody gets on Spoon TV, he wants to die in that position. And half of them are not good. Half of them are not good analysts. Half of them don't know how to even discuss the issue. But they're only there because they're a friend. So when it comes to, in terms of leadership, when it comes to leadership, that's what leadership means. Leadership means evolution, meaning you bring somebody in and you're always looking for new talent and you're always looking to improve, even to the point where when you're no longer running it. I can go on. Bill Gates started, like I said, Microsoft.
Right. I think we just lost. I think we just lost Alice on here. All right, guys. While we wait for Alice to reconnect with us, let me share this here. We were gonna take a quick a break on here. But let me see how best we can get it on here. I think Alex is trying to join us back shortly here. Let's see here. I want to share this little video with you guys while we wait. Let's make this conversation a little bit more interactive and kind of like we'll get into the politics of it. We'll get into the politics of the day. There are a lot of things to talk about, but just stress relief. Just get yourself into it, laugh a little bit, and just to support our own Liberian law acting or comedy and what's going on. Let's watch this video. I don't know how many of you have watched it, but it was really. I mean, it. Watch for yourselves. Let's just watch and see how it goes. Let's see what a lot of you will end up laughing. You will say, "No, I don't like that joke. The way it went, I didn't like it." Let's see what happened.
Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us daily our daily bread and forgive our trespasses, that we forgive. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us daily our daily bread, and forgive our trespasses. That will forgive you those who trespass against us. And not dare your temptation. That. Hey, what? Yeah, come, bro. I don't want to. It will carry.
Ozo, what you think that? Ozo, so.
Lagi bangun yang minggu. Bagus, sama. Ya sekarang di mana? Ozo, mana sekarang di mana? Mana lewat di mana?
Ozo, man.
Pak, pergi pak. Pak, pergi pak. Pak, pergi pak. Oh, itu dia sama dengan cukup. Ya, pak.
Kita tahu ya.
Pak, pergi pak.
Tidak.
Pak, pergi pak.
Tidak.
Mana sekarang di mana?
Tidak.
Mana jalan ujung? Iya, mana pak. Mana sekarang di mana? Where do you know? Pak, ada pak. Pak, pergi pak. Hey, that's not it. Ada where?
Who get that kid?
Pak, pergi pak.
Kata who get that kid?
Mana sekarang di mana? Mana sekarang di mana?
Stay value money.
Take all the bed.
Oh, the bed is
yeah, mama,
joking. You gotta do something. You gotta do something to people.
Want to do something to me?
Yeah, want to do something to you.
Want to do something to me?
Yeah, want to do something to you. The things all to do it now.
Wait. Yeah, wait, man.
Give me.
Yeah, go ahead now. Why are you in bed?
Okay. No, I wasn't talking to my heart. I don't to my heart. Yeah.
Oh, you Christian? You Christian or Muslim?
I think talking to my heart.
You Christian or you Muslim?
I'm Christian.
You Christian?
Yes.
Can you say the Lord prayer? They may lie to you. You can say the Lord prayer.
I'm Christian.
You can say the Lord prayer?
Yeah.
Say the Lord prayer.
Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thy will be done as it is in heaven. If you are to the and give ourselves as a land, give ourselves as a kingdom. I am making my vote changing me. I'm Christian. No, I'm Christian. I'm Christian, man. I'm Christian.
Wait, okay, take your stand.
I said Christian. I said, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. The man, you know about the you know, I'm
trying to say that we don't want to tell you the tale time. Why you rushing? We don't understand. We know he lies.
Our Father, which art in heaven, thy kingdom come. Thou we don't facilitate every give of dear to the bread and forgive our trespasses. Thou will forgive those who trespass against us. I'm not there your temptation that.
Hey, what?
I mean, I said Christian.
No, N1. You say N1.
Nothing on me.
Wait, that particular part of that thing, N1.
I said my voice to me, but I said,
N1, what is
I said, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come. Thou will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I didn't be to the pool. I didn't know. Yeah, I'm to the pool.
So, Alex, welcome back, man.
Hello.
So, I came across this video and I watched it. I just couldn't stop laughing. So this biker, when he was riding around and he met this girl, a good-looking woman, and she asked him, "Hey, I need a ride." And so she took him to a house where she asked him to come in and help her take the mattress. But when he got in the house, the guys, they had staged where to close the door behind him. Now he thought he was about to be murdered. So they asked him to say the Lord's Prayer, and that is what he was saying over there. He said, I almost he said, you almost gave me high blood pressure. Oh my God. I think guys, you guys should watch that. Go watch that. But I'm glad that Ellis is back. Hopefully we don't experience any technical issues. I watched it a couple of times. It was hilarious. I mean, the society we find ourselves in today, where these things are happening. But at the end of
Hello,
that,
I can't hear you, Lofa.
you can hear me. Can you hear me? You got to turn your Bluetooth off. You using the Bluetooth? Are you using the Bluetooth? Can you hear me now? You got to go off and come back. Yeah. But anyway, while we wait for Alex to join us back, let me just get into this issue of the next discussion point I wanted to bring out tonight is the issue of deceptions. People continuously portray themselves as um the transparent the integrous figures. They're the ones who can do everything the right way. An example of such individual would be Amara Khan. The reason why a lot of people been asking me, reaching out, Lofa, why you keep bothering Amar Khan? Is he the only person who is yet to declare his asset and publish it? And I said to them, you know, the reason why some of us did not see Amar Khan as that option to take Liberia out of where she is
Okay, I'm
what we
good now.
you good?
Yeah, I'm good now. Sorry about that.
Okay,
All
that's
right.
all right. So
Okay.
basically, I'm just talking about the issue with Amara Khan. All
Okay.
right. Amara Khan is one of those people who came and ran his campaign on transparency. He claimed to be this man of integrity. I want you to speak to the fact that we are yet to hear from Amara Khan when it comes to assets declaration. Amara Khan promised Liberians that he will declare and publish his assets. Up until today's date, it appears as though it have to be rocket science for one to have access to that information. What do you think is going on here? What is going on with this brother?
Lofa, if you take Amara Khan to be a serious person, then I'm telling you, um, I've been following Amara Khan for almost a decade. Okay, since I mean when he was, I think, the head of the budget, was that budget or something at the executive mansion during the LA administration. Um, I may stand correct, maybe not budget, but I know he was in charge or something at the mansion before he went on to become. No, he was minister of plenty economics.
Hmm.
Um, Amara Kone is a very interesting character, and number one, he's a liar and he's a thief. Okay, uh, if you Google Amara Kone right now in corruption, you will find articles about bribery by international organizations,
Hmm.
how they receive money from oil blocks. Okay. In
Right.
fact, when the we administration came in, he was one of those who the anti-corruption tried to recover assets from him. I used to follow this man, try to expose him. I think he blocked me years ago. All right. He's a criminal. He's what you call a government criminal. Uh, he's somehow figured a way he disappeared after the early administration, after all his failures, they put in the Ministry of Finance. He didn't know what he was doing because he's not a financial person. Okay, he's an IT person, not even a real IT person because he never really worked, you know, as an IT professional. Just went to school and then got into politics. Uh, very close to Ellen's son.
Right.
I don't know what relationship they had, but that's what helped prepare him to the early administration. And when he became minister, it was a complete dysfunction. It was very corrupt. Even Ellen herself got disappointed. All right. Then he disappeared after the early administration. And what I hear from my sources, the money he stole from Liberia, he put it in Beirut. So he had a lot of money
that was in Lebanon. And as you know, Lebanon collapsed,
Right.
recently. So apparently this whole thing to come back into government is to steal more money. Then he was working at this position at the World Bank, which is basically a political position. Every country gets to send certain number of people, and usually the finance ministry and the government officials, they will, try to connect themselves. So again, it's not a meritocratic position. He
Okay.
went there. The story is that his contract was not renewed for lack of performance.
Mm.
That's how he got back into politics in Liberia. So he's jobless now. He doesn't have any money as he probably used to. All his loot were taken away, and so that's what brought him. So he went to Bobolo County this late day and utilized the whole we are failure, because Liberians forget very easily. Once they against somebody, they can't see the next criminal that coming.
Right.
Uh, that's how they are. You can steal from them all you want, but if somebody else steals from them and the person can't tell you, oh, I know how to catch that other person, you will let the first criminal come in. But he's not a horrible person. I have no respect for him. He's not a competent, he's a sleazeball. What you call a sleazeball? He's a guy who, when they say if corruption was a character, they would be American. And when I see Joseph Boyka, and everything I tell you is factual, like you can sue me, the evidence of it. You know what I mean? I'm not making this up. His name was implicated for bribery by the Transparency International. Okay, so if you talk about asset recovery, one of the first people should be on our list is American,
So
because the company admitted.
I'm
The
glad
company
that
has
you're
admitted.
I'm glad that you're driving the conversation in that direction because we will
Mhm,
also speak to the issue of the asset declaration, the team that was created with
mhm,
the members of that. But I want us to focus on this, well, not asset declaration, asset recovery team and the
mhm,
members, and then the whole issue of asset declaration. There are other people who live in Liberia. An example would be Prince Stowe, this
mhm.
representative, the young representative for District Number 8. This young man just declared and published his asset not anywhere else but on his social media page. Somebody asked me about this, like, Lofa, what does it do you if they declare their assets? Are you also verifying? And my train of thought was, okay, a baby is not born and starts to walk the same day. The idea here is let's get majority or possibly all of them to willingly declare and publish their assets to the public. Then we can start to put in mechanisms to say, okay, let's verify because last year you published this. This is what you claim on there. This year you're
Mhm.
publishing this. Let us compare and then let us hopefully get that institution that can verify because at least we have made one step further than where we were. We took one step further. But this man who came as the transparent czar ran his mouth, the loudest and biggest mouth.
That's what he
Today
does
is
best.
today is hiding himself. He says on the social media, he
And let me tell you
performed
why he doesn't want to
like
publish his
stupid.
assets. He
Go ahead.
doesn't want to publish his assets for two reasons. One, if he comes out and says, "I got $5 million or $10 million in
You will
asset,"
verify.
he cannot justify it
Mhm.
because of course you're a finance minister. But even if you made $10,000 of money, you have expensive. A kid in America went to private school. He has a house in America or so forth, right?
Right.
Any forensic accountant or anybody who study finance can say, even if you're making $150,000 a year, you're not going to be able to save $150,000.
Right.
So he doesn't want to publish it because of that reason. That one, that he would be implicated in corruption and rightfully so. The second reason he doesn't want to publish his assets because he's corrupt. So let's say he only has $2 million. He does not want to come out and say he only has $2 million because he perhaps over the next 6 years, through kickbacks, through all kinds of shady deals, he will end up having $10 million. So the publication, but the whole asset declaration thing is a joke because first of all, the the anti-corruption commission should publish the asset. Okay, if I was running the anti-corruption commission, I will publish everybody asset, because the purpose of it is you serve in a public position. There is no argument. Everybody who is a public official, they ask the what you call, they are public figures.
Right.
The asset, you saw even when Donald Trump, Obama, they had to publish their taxes. They had to declare where their holdings are, conflict of interest, and all that kind of stuff. So we we have a toothless bulldog in the anti-corruption commission, because if Bogart gave you his asset, first of all, Bogart does not have any asset. He has liabilities, because by his own admission, he claimed he's living on loans. Loan is a liability. Okay, if you borrowed $500,000 over the last 6 years and you only got $200,000, you have a negative of $300,000. That's not an asset. That's a liability.
Mm.
Okay, okay. So Bogart doesn't. You shouldn't have any asset. You should have liability and say, okay, I owe, according to him, but a UBA bank 200,000. I owe the person 200,000. My house is worth 100,000. You subtract it. It's a liability. But the reason why he's keeping it secret is because it's a liability. And when they steal, the intent is to steal, or the intent is to get money from, or off the table. The way these guys steal is not through the budget. What they do is, let's say a company comes to Liberia and wants to sign a deal, okay,
Mhm.
whether it's Meta Steel or whatever, they get kickbacks. So those companies will tell them, hey, I'll give you, or you and your family member, $500,000.
Mhm.
It doesn't show in the budget, and it'll tell you, so,
Mm.
okay, deposited in Lebanon or deposited in Israel. You understand what I mean? And then
Wow.
now they can go and take, so that, and that's why they won't want real forensic, real financial people, because we know how to get it. You understand what I mean? We easy. You can indict the American going all the way back to the Ellen Johnson Sally, if we just had a team of financial experts, because all you got to do, just track, if you buy a house in America, your bank statement in America, you can just look at it and you submit those papers. You can see that, all right, this is how much you earn. If you got investment, you buy stock, we can see the stock, we can know how much the stock appreciated. So
Wow.
they did not intending to do it, because the thing, Liberian people are just financially illiterate. So they know when they tell you, say, oh, we'll declare our asset. Declare your asset or publishing your asset makes no sense. You may as well not declare it, because if you declare it, we're all publishing it. They had us, a journalist goes and research and find out your conflict of interest. Let's say, for instance, right, Nova
Mhm.
Judah, they make you uh minister of information. Okay. And let's say you have 50% stake in Truth FM.
Mhm.
Okay. That's a conflict of interest. And then you start to take the contract now to give it to newspapers and thing to Truth FM. Okay. Nobody knows that. But if you declare your asset and say, okay, I own 10% stake in Truth FM, I own 10% stake in Meta Steel, then it opens the book as a public official for people to go and scrutinize you. So that's the trick they're playing. That's the game. And of course, I bring people now up to it, because we're a very gullible society.
But here's the thing about this entire process, though. There are people who claim to be educated. All right,
Hmm.
people who claim to seek transparency or reform in Liberia, but they still will support these individuals and refuse to call them out. What is it about our society where people attend or appear to be so gullible? Because I know for a fact that I would not buy into the idea of any form of deception. If you're my friend and you promise me that upon your ascendancy to a
Hmm.
specific position, you will be that change agent, and you go
Correct.
contrary to that, it should be upon me to hold you accountable. And that's why some of the folks who actually support these individuals don't believe in, they don't stand for that, and they think it's a form of witch hunt. Okay, or some of them will even base it on tribal line. Like somebody said to me in my box, oh, you just focus on American because he's Mandingo. And I said, I'm not even going to pay attention to you because that nonsense is just, I mean, take that
Right.
nonsense somewhere else and deal with it. And I didn't even respond to them. Okay. But why is it that people who claim to be educated will always buy into these nonsense? Why?
Look, the best I can say to that is we have a very narrow-minded population, and especially very many young people, because people, young people in Liberia, even in America, they cannot make the connection between having a good, transparent government and their own success. Okay, so
Mhm.
they don't see that having a government that is transparent, that is holding people responsible, like even if it's your friend or your family member, your tribe,
Mhm.
means that more of government resources and opportunity will come to you. The way
Mhm.
they see it is that
Mhm.
my success is predicated on who I support and who
Mhm.
I align myself with. So if that person, even if that person is bad, terrible, I mean, you saw how on a we are some of the people who are supporting we are, even when there are people who are murdered, you know, even to the point where one point I heard where we are was sleeping with somebody's girlfriend, the person was in the government, you know, so that's how bad it is because they don't see a Liberia where they can be prosperous, where they can be, they can elevate their own financial interests or their own livelihood with all certain people. So it's like a tribe. When I use the word tribal, tribal doesn't, and I'm using it in the context where you and the person from the same tribe.
Right.
Okay. I'm
Smaller.
using it for
Smaller.
instance, Jefferson Koji. Jefferson Koji is not from the Southeast, right? Jefferson Koji is from Lofa County. But why
Right.
would Jefferson Koji, align himself with George Weah at the detriment of everybody else? Because he's formed a tribe with that group and he sees his interests through George Weah. So it's not even about whether his county is developed, whether his grandma or live in huts, for the rest of their lives. He's
Mhm.
not interested in that. He feels if I succeed through Josh Weah, then I can help them. But it never works out that way.
Alex,
So that how people.
you spoke of, being on here. You came with the idea of
Mhm.
preferring possible solutions. What
Yes.
can we do differently to address this particular concern of ours? You're concerned about transparency, the fight against domestic violence. And I have a video that I'm going to bring,
Hmm.
hopefully, once we move to that recent incident that took place.
Hmm.
A young man who is journalist was brutalized by LDA officers for whatever
Hmm.
reason, but we'll get to that story.
Hmm.
Um, young people are not, they don't have access to quality education. They all become militants overnight. These individuals pay grown men and women to defend them on the social media because they want to, like you rightfully said, they want to be aligned with these
Hmm.
people. What can we do differently to address some of these concerns and hopefully institute some kind of mechanism to put us on the right trajectory so that eventually the generation after us, because I'm not as optimistic as I was before that our generation will experience change, but hopefully the generation after us. So what is it that we can start to do today
Right.
in order to achieve that?
One of the things that when you say education in Liberia, right? People
Mhm.
look at education as I went to school, I went to college, I got a degree. Because one point in Liberia, there were people without degrees and these people are holding position. And then another point came where you had the Sawyer era and the Ellen Johnson era where just show us a paper, even if it's an online school that in the Caribbean that never existed.
Mhm.
Once you got a degree that say master's degree, you get a position. So many Liberians ran to get degrees. I mean, your former vice president, I mean, many of them, they got these degrees from everywhere. They didn't learn anything. All right. So education is most of the education you find in the world today. It comes from uh, interaction. Before what books people read and they got education. I mean, for instance, Abraham Lincoln. I think he stopped only in seventh grade or something. But Abraham Lincoln today will be compared to a PhD. So education and education comes from what people like you doing, right? uh, coming out and constantly reminding people and talk, having discussion, because part of corruption is the media.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember, I always used to speak about the corrupt media in Liberia. I would name them. I said Focus on Liberia. I said Spoon TV. I said SKT TV. I said Daily Observer. I said Front Page Africa. The corrupt media, what they do is how they participants to the whole corruption process. They suppress anything to do with knowledge, information of the people because they're getting paid under the cover, or they're going to get a position that's going to pay them. And
Mm-hmm.
you saw, I guess, as I said it, Spoon TV, and you saw what happened. You were paying Waka, and everything came out. When I used to call them corrupt media, because I could see the connection. When you bring people on your show that all of them part of your party and all of them say one thing, it gives the simply now, oh yeah, we are good media. Then before that, you find the CEO himself into fraud and corruption. So when you suppress the people through information, through radio and TV and social media,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then you keep them ignorant. If you bring Eugene Fagon and you bring Prophet Key, okay, and you
Mm-hmm.
bring Mo Ali, right, every night, okay, who you think the people are gonna vote for? They're gonna vote for Porker because they're hearing Mo Ali every day. Porker is wonderful. Porker did this, right? You're hearing, even Prophet Key. You're hearing, so that's how the media make the people illiterate. Okay, and you go all around the world how it's done. So
So, so,
it
so with that, I think that is the problem. You just identify for, in addition to several other
mhm.
things that you mentioned earlier,
The media,
this is
education,
a
media.
contribution to the problem. But what can we do as a society, as fighters for change? What can we do
We
differently?
have
And
to
even as
organize.
people, what can we do differently to
Okay,
counter some of these behavior?
yes, we have to, first of all, we have to work together, because the corrupt people are going to work together. They have a common interest. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So we are divided. We're divided because we don't understand the game that is being played. We don't understand that the reason a certain person on a certain social media is supporting the government, like you say, or supporting American because he related to American or his family member is related to American. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so we come out here and being very objective against each other when we mean well, when we mean what we are saying. We disagree. You and I disagree, and that we disagree academically. We're not
Right.
disagreeing because, oh, I'm there to support this person or there to support that person. So
Right.
the responsible media, all right, they are not working together. Okay, they are not working together.
Mm-hmm.
They're so individualistic. They only care about the media. They want to be the biggest media. They want to be the best. So they don't go out and try to find those voices, whether in Liberia or other people that can identify and give those people more elevation. Because this is a public opinion thing you're countering. The more people that are good in society, the more people speak good in society and the truth, the more the society will be truthful and the more the society will be transparent. So do you hear Front Page Africa talking about American and not declaring his asset? Do you hear Focus on Liberia? Do you hear Spoon TV? No. What I tell you, it tells you that they and these people are in cahoots. So they use the media. The media is the most powerful in a democracy. It's the most powerful instrument that on a planet in history. It brought kings down. It can elevate anybody. It can destroy anybody. So the corrupt people in society and the politicians, the corrupt solution, they have understood that we have to all work together so we can keep this thing with us. Don't attack American if you own my station. Let's focus on Prince Johnson. You see what I'm trying to say? Don't talk about Ellen, but talk about Prince Johnson when it comes to the World Economic Crimes Code.
Right.
Don't talk about Abi Kroma, who was in fact the Ulomo K leader, one of the leaders of Ulomo K. He in Boaka government. He the DEA person, right?
Wait. He was a rebel. A.B. Krumah was a
Yeah,
rebel.
Abi Kroma was Minister of Defense. What representing the Ulimo K. You know what I'm saying? You will not hear those things. April Coman was Lasana Kamara, who was on the transitional team. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're loud and clear. I can hear you. You're frozen, but I can hear you.
Yeah, Lasana Kamara, who
Uh-huh.
Boyka appointed to the transitional team, was the official representative of Ulimo. Are you there?
So, I mean, Alex, in that regards, though,
Mhm.
that brings me to the question, and I think it put us in a very tough spot. Would it be
Mhm.
fair then to say that the media that is supposed to represent the people' interest is against the people?
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, in very common sense, based
I,
on what you just stated, if I were to just make my own analysis of what you stated, I'm saying that, hey, had it not been for social media, like the virtual platforms
correct.
such as, you know, like people just coming up on their
If
personal
it's not, if it hadn't been for people like you and me and a few other people, first of all, everybody would believe in like, brother, the government is doing wonderful. If I don't go on and post every day that Goborka has proven to be one of the worst and most dysfunctional government, how would anybody know in Liberia, in Bon County, or anywhere around the world, if they're listening to the LBS and they're listening to Spoon Radio and they're listening to the other stuff? There's no way for them to know. There's not a newspaper in Liberia that I know of that is objective that can say smart news, maybe smart news because that was a small and they're suppressing a long time ago. But he was trying to be very objective and put out things against the we administration, everybody. So we don't have journalists, we have politicians. So the whole election, uh, it was a fraud because you get people who are running and the media that's supposed to report objectively is supporting them and financing them. Any other country, that media will be closed down. People will go to jail, and Boka will be criminally held responsible because it's against the election laws. But
we
it,
wow. We spoke of you mentioned something, and I want you to elaborate on this because we are in the process of having to speak on the establishment of the War and Economic Crimes Court. Okay.
mhm,
You mentioned AB Cremant today.
mhm,
AB Cremant is the LDEA boss, right?
correct. Mhm,
He's the one who's out there managing the activities of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency. This is what they did today to a Liberian. For whatever reason, I'm yet to figure it out, but I have my reporters. Our reporters are in the streets, and hopefully they will gather more information on this as to why they felt the need to treat this young man the way they treated him here. Now, watch for yourselves and see what transpired.
mhm.
I want to also bring the next video here. I want to share with us, guys, is this video where he was actually previously engaged. All right, it appeared that he may have been resisting arrest in this
Mhm.
entire process here. I'm one of those who don't believe that anyone should resist arrest, but I still don't believe in police brutality. All right, because these are things that we speak against human rights.
Mhm.
That's where it comes in when we speak of human rights. We complain that President Weah's government police brutality was at the max. As a matter of fact, part of the reasons why Liberians took to the streets
Mhm.
in the master protest was because of some of these propaganda machineries. The videos that they were playing, some of the videos that came from everywhere. Okay, people said that with the social media influence, things are not just simply going to be swept under the carpet.
Mhm.
Now, you mentioned AB Kamara, who again
His name is A.B. Kroma.
AB Kroma, sorry.
A.B.
AB
Kroma.
Kroma. All right.
Mhm.
And it is alleged that the group of guys who are doing the arrest are from his agency, the LDEA. So I want to play this video again and then we will discuss it in detail. Hitting, he's been hit, hitting him.
Why you behave like this?
Okay. Let's talk about it. What is your reaction to that video? As per the story that was written, and then again, the story is on across Africa, folks. Please feel free to go and read the story for yourself. It said the video footage of journalists, and this guy is described as a journalist, Kesali Sumo, a voice of Foreman being manhandled by two men believed to be LDEA agents and a court officer is disturbing. According, they were acting on the order of Associate Magistrate Lydia Solante, who charged the journalist with contempt for interviewing two chiefs that she claims, all right, are detained for the mere fact that he interviewed someone. He's being manhandled the way he is, man.
Well,
What do you
I
make?
thought when I saw the video, I was like, okay, maybe this man was found with arm and drugs, you know. That's what I thought, really. Because only somebody who, you know, is a drug dealer in that kind of position with arm, you know, where he can pose a threat to the police would be handled in that manner. But now you're telling me he's a journalist and his only crime is doing his job, interviewing people. That bro is finished.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
You see what's happening? You see what happened in Haiti? I don't know if you've been following the international news. Haiti now is a complete chaos. The president, the prime minister had to resign. He can't even return to Haiti. The gangs, all part of Haiti, were armed.
Right.
Okay. You think that just started yesterday?
No, of course not.
Okay. So when you see insurrection, coup d'etat, all these different things that happen to these states, that's what causes it. Injustice.
Wow.
They will keep doing it until they will go to go arrest the wrong person for the wrong reason. Okay?
Right.
And that's where everything will spark into chaos. And that will be the end of our democracy.
You
You
know.
saw, I don't know you're in Liberia, but I was in Liberia. I remember when Taylor decided to go and arrest Roosevelt Johnson. I live right on 16th Street.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Taylor
Right.
had the most powerful military militia in Liberia. It was Haji Koman. In fact, the Abri Koman man, I think he's a little brother of Haji Koman, the former warlord.
Okay.
I stand correct on it, but I think he related or that his brother. You can do your research and check on it. Um, and people felt that because Taylor had this big army that he could
Uh-huh.
just go arrest anyone and manhandle anyone.
Right.
And Roosevelt Johnson lived not too far on the Pine Avenue. You know that what I ended up happening in Liberia, I was there. It took about 2 to 3 months of war,
Jesus.
literally, and thousands of people died April 6th because they went to go arrest somebody practically unjustly, and the person refused, and the person took their own gun and said, "I'm not going to be arrested today." So when these things happen, people look at it like, oh, that Liberia this. That they seem like brothers say will never enter into war. That it seem like brothers say that a peaceful country. If you push the population to a point to the brink where they have no reason to live, no reason, you're not giving them food, you're not giving them job, you're not giving them opportunity, and then you bring the brutality, police brutality, it's a recipe for disaster. And that's why just and then you start arresting journalists. How many journalists they do they didn't arrest? How many, they had it back then, they had what you call the anti-terrorist unit
Mm-hmm. The
that would
18.
just go to your house. Yeah, they would just go to your house, grab you because you said something against the government, put you in jail, post stack it. Where is those today? How many Taylor? You know understand what I mean? What Taylor didn't do to intimidate the population? What kind of
Mm.
brute force did Taylor did not use when he was president? Where is Taylor today? The fact is, you do not have enough police or army in any country if the population decide we don't want you or we're not going to do certain things. You don't have enough people.
But
So you have to conduct yourself in a way where the population will respect you and will and will honor the law because it's fair across the. They're not respecting you; they're respecting justice. And so when there's injustice, that means you carrying. He got brother, he got mom, he got pa. Okay, he's not going to forget. He's not. They're not going to forget that. But you say everybody. What does the DEA, the LDEA in Liberia have to do with rate of arrest? I thought it was the police and the court supposed to do. The sheriff supposed to go arrest people. Not even the police. According to Liberian law, the sheriff supposed to go to summon people and to arrest them for court violating thing. Not DA, you there for drugs. What business do you have in a civil or criminal litigation that is not related to drugs?
right.
So
Wow.
that's violation of human rights.
Alex, Emmerich, I sent you the link, guys. I'm sorry. My daughter just told me that my son, I think he sprained his ankle at his track meet today, so he's in his room in severe pain. So I may have to kind of cut things short here.
Yes, please do. I think we can do
I'm
this
ready.
tomorrow.
I'm really sorry. I hope that hopefully we'll get back on here. He didn't tell me that when I picked him up from his meet. That's why I came on like a minute late on here. But my daughter just told me he's in his room and he's in severe pain
Yeah.
crying. So I got to take him to the ER. So guys, I'm really really sorry. I apologize. We got to cut this short.
Yes, we'll do this another time. Go and
Yeah,
take care of your family. I hope he feels better. And
yeah.
you're doing a great job. So you hear every time. And I think you need to take care of the family today.
Yes, sir,
We'll
guys.
continue from here.
I'm really apologetic again. Happy birthday to my man Musa Willie. Everybody here. Emrick, sorry, bro. We'll be back hopefully tomorrow.
Okay.
After the closing argument, we can come back on here and continue the conversation. But I really gotta go. Let me
All right, buddy.
let me see
All right,
what's
take care. Hope your son feels better, man.
all right, man. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it, guys. You guys have a good night.